This is a special application of the endowment problem called the labor-leisure model, which you would have seen if you had taken a labor course, perhaps. Occasionally it pops up in some other contexts. It's an endowment problem because it assumes that the consumer is endowed with a certain number of total hours and a certain amount of unearned income. Okay? The trick with this model is to figure out how to set up the budget constraint. So we're imagining a world where utility is derived from leisure, okay, that's basically any time spent not working, and consumption, okay, and consumption is measured in dollars in this case. So we want to set up a budget constraint that shows leisure and consumption in it, but does not necessarily have the other choice variable labor in it, okay? So we have really two constraints. We have T equals little l leisure plus big L labor, and we have a consumption constraint, okay, which it consists of earned income and unearned income, okay? So the problem is, A, we have two constraints rather than one, and B, we have, if we circle all the choice variables, C, L, and L, we have three choice variables. We only have two choice variables in the utility function, and we typically try to eliminate a choice variable if we can and make the choice variables in the constraint line up with the ones that appear in the utility function. So we're going to do that by using this particular relationship. This means that L equals T minus little l, and we can then substitute that into the consumption constraint. So W T minus little l plus M. And now we can gather the choice variables on one side of the equation. This means that C plus WL, so I'm just multiplying this part out, and I get W big T, W little l, and then I'm adding the W little l to the other side, so I kind of jumped a step on you there, equals WT plus M. So this is all exogenous, okay? This is the total value of your endowment, okay? So it's really the value of your assets that you have to spend, the value of your time, and then the value of your unearned income. And that's devoted to two goods, consumption and leisure. Now, of course, you don't buy leisure by putting money into a meter or giving it to a store clerk. So this wage, which is considered to be the price of leisure, is an opportunity cost price. For each extra unit of leisure you consume, right, you're giving up W dollars in consumption. So that's how we think about that price, W. So we can identify some things in the picture now, okay? The maximum amount of leisure you could possibly consume would be big T dollars. So if you didn't work at all, you could consume big T dollars, right? And if you didn't work at all, right, your consumption would still be equal to M. So if we set big L to 0, didn't work at all, you would be able to enjoy M dollars of consumption. This is your endowment point in the labor-leisure model, okay? Now the question is, what if you worked the entire time and enjoyed 0 leisure? So in that case, our consumption would be WT plus M. That would go to big T because we'd be devoting all of our time to work. And so we have up here WT plus M as our intercept, okay? We connect those points, and we should be able to show that the slope of this is in fact minus W, that the opportunity cost of a unit of leisure is W dollars of consumption. Once we have the constraint set up, we can take our indifference curves, just like we always have, superimpose them in the picture. If we have nice convex indifference curves like we do here, then we're going to be looking for a point of tangency. Alternatively, we can actually employ the Cobb-Douglas rule here. If this is the price of little l and this is the income equivalent, WT plus M, then we can employ the Cobb-Douglas rule and conclude that L star is 1 over 1 plus 1, or 1/2, WT plus M, divided by the price of leisure, and the price of leisure is that thing which is multiplying against leisure, so there's a W there, and C star is 1/2 of WT plus M over 1. And then finally, we would have to find labor. Go L star would be the total time that you had available minus the amount you spent on leisure. So you could work that out more specifically. But this is called the labor-leisure model.